what I realized with the letter is that every time your ex would come back on blaming something from the past and you wrote a letter, you can tell them, and this is what I'm doing with the people I coach. I'm telling my client, my coachee, you need to tell your ex, look, I hear you, and that's why I talk about it in my letter. Go back to the letter and read the letter again. It's an amazing tool. It's like in our advantage. It's like, I already told you that. I already worked on that. I already addressed that. If it's not the case, then you can talk to your ex. But most of the time, the letter is so powerful, especially when you work with a coach, like Coach Adrian, myself, Coach Abby. We work on a letter where we use every psychological tool, not to manipulate your ex, but to make them want to talk to you. Yeah. So I feel like at the beginning, I was scared and reluctant to use the letter after we sent it. But now I'm like, no. Tell your ex that this is in the letter. Yeah. It shows that you're very passionate about getting your ex back. And for me, being passionate about changing is the best way to apologize to an ex.
Sure. There's no replacement for actually doing the work.
Yeah.
And for really being able to read your reality and putting the right actions in place, right? So it's not a copy-paste type of approach. Every relationship is unique. Your ex is a unique individual. Your letter needs to be appropriate and adapted to your reality. And that's why in my master course, I give 35 different sample examples of real letters that real people have sent to their ex to help them reconnect.
Wow.
Because every situation is unique. And sometimes the letter is 4 or 5 lines. In other cases, it's like a page and a half, right? And that's why I really encourage you to... if you have not heard about my master course, check it out, because there's amazing resources built up over a decade worth of experience.
The link will be in the description.
Please, let's do that, because it's life-changing stuff.
Sure.
And ultimately, it needs to be coherent. It needs to make sense, right? What you write in your letter, you need to feel like actually this is coming from deep within you. You believe, you stand by every word. And then, like Coach Alex says, you can always refer back to it and say, "This is what you're saying right there. I hear you, and that's why I wrote this letter." But to piggyback on what you were saying, when an ex communicates in this way, it means that they're triggered by something. They're triggered by something. It may be linked to your actions or your posture or your demeanor with them, or it may be, their emotional trauma from a previous relationship, their childhood, whatever it may be. But this is where don't just focus on, what you're conveying to them. Actually focus on validating that emotion, on being aware of what those triggers are and giving them a space to share, while also reminding them that, you are aware of that trigger. And sometimes it can be even helpful to tell, even though you understand, even though you wrote it in the letter, to tell your significant other, what is it that you're trying to convey to me that you feel like I'm not understanding right now? Is it possible for you to share that with me? And it may help your significant other to work through their own trauma and then be in a better place to open up their heart again. That's been my experience.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Adrian. I think it's very important to surprise the ex and show that we won't respond. Because usually when someone starts to talk about the past issues, we want to beg, we want to plead, we want to be needy, we want to also sometimes yell and scream. And the ex will always feel like, oh, you didn't change because you cannot control your emotions. So at the end of the day, it's about being true to yourself. It's about really apologizing in a way that you know that you won't do it again, and giving the solutions that this is a new behavior that can open the door to your ex to believe in you and to be attracted to you.